The elephant rope. Belief. Sometimes an inspiring story helps us find out the strength within us. An inspiring story helps you inspire yourself and motivate yourself. It also helps find out what you can do and what you cannot. There are hundreds you may have read in your life, but how many of them actually made changes in your mind is a question. Here are some inspiring short stories that not only gives a powerful lesson, but can also be helpful to learn about some unknown truths about life. A gentleman was walking through an elephant camp and he spotted that the elephants weren't being kept in cages or held by the use of chains. All that was holding them back from escaping the camp was a small piece of rope tied to one of their legs. As the man gazed upon the elephants, he was completely confused as to why the elephants didn't just use their strength to break the rope and escape the camp. They could easily have done so, but instead, they didn't try to at all. Curious and wanting to know the answer, he asked a trainer nearby why the elephants were just the two gardeners. Letting go is probably one story lesson that can teach both the child and the parent valuable lesson. Children are hands down very impressionable and sensitive, and there are times when you, as a parent, might not want to accept that a line needs to be drawn, as children need to become independent. Here is a story that talks about the challenges of learning to do things on your own through stronger roots. Once, there lived two neighbors who used to grow the same plants in their respective gardens. One neighbor was fussy and took extreme care of her plants. The other neighbor did what was required, but left the leaves of the plants alone to grow as they pleased. One evening, there was a huge storm, accompanied by heavy rainfall. The storm destroyed many of the plants. The next morning, when the fussy neighbor woke up, she found that the plants had been uprooted and destroyed. However, when the more relaxed neighbor woke up, she found that her plants were still firmly rooted in the soil, having weathered the storm. The plant of the relaxed neighbor had learnt to do things on its own, so it had done its bit of work, grown deep roots, and made a place for itself in the soil. Thus it had stood firm even in the storm. However, the fussy neighbor used to do everything for the plant, thereby not teaching the plant how to sustain on its own. Moral: sooner or later, why,